So if you don't know about this New York look back law, it's the reason a lot of these cases are popping up. Specifically, the ASA allowed for adult victims of SA to bring suit during a 1-year look-back period, regardless of whether the statute of limitations has already expired on the claim. The law also permitted victims who were previously time-barred from bringing the action to file suit. Further, it permitted victims who have had their cases dismissed for failure to file a notice of a claim to bring a new action against the perpetrators. And so it's making it so much easier for all these new cases to pop up, even though so much time has passed. Jamie Foxx is one we're here to talk about today. Let's go to O'Shea Duke Jackson for the specifics on this case.
And this was the woman who refuses to disclose her identity. And this young lady said that she met Jamie Foxx at a public restaurant where he pulled her away and assaulted her. Storytime music! It said that Jamie Foxx was dining at the Catch NYC in Roof when Jane Doe arrived to be seated in the rooftop lounge and bar. Around 1 a.m., the plaintiff's friend asked Jamie if he'd take a photo with her and the plaintiff. Jamie said, "Sure, baby, anything for you," and seemed intoxicated at the time. The woman says he took more photos and commented, "Wow, you have that supermodel body. You smell so good." And he told her that she looks like Gabrielle Union. Stop the show. Can I get a dun 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 sound effect? So this must be a woman who is black, because it's not too many white women who look like Gabrielle Union. This is interesting, and we know that Jamie Foxx, for the clapping sounds, really deals exclusively with white women. But let's continue on. So the lady claims Jamie pulled her up by the arm to the back area of the rooftop, where he allegedly placed both hands on her waist, moved them under her top, and started rubbing her breastises, and stuck his fingers into her front and rear private area. Stop the show. Somebody takes you upstairs and start putting their fingers in your front and rear private. That's nasty. But anyways, okay. But here's something that's interesting. The woman claims that she sought medical attention after the incident, but didn't explain why she never filed criminal charges or sued Jamie up until now. Shout out to Brother LAR Movement. He's out here with me right now in Uganda, and we were talking about this today earlier. We were just having lunch. He sent me this video that I think is very important by Faison Love. Let's check this clip out and we'll talk about it.
All you have to say is, so-and-so looked at me wrong. I said it in my head.
Yeah.
And and not the police. They don't, it's like the same thing with Bill Cosby. He was trying to tell you. They don't call the police.
They call their attorney.
They call their attorney. And the attorney makes it a statement. But if they call the police, it would be squashed. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to investigate.
Yeah.
They're going to do whatever a woman is, body becomes evidence.
Evidence, that's right.
All they have to do is do a test.
But she's talking about it happened however long ago, so there's no evidence.
You can't prove that.
Right.
So why not go to the police then?
Now, I'm not saying this lady is lying, but I'm just saying if you were lying, you wouldn't want solid evidence to prove that, right? And one of the ways to do that is to give it time. If the police did want to examine a body for evidence, it wouldn't be there because so much time has passed, right? Makes a whole lot of difference to ask someone 2 days after the event, what happened? Did you witness something? Were you there at the club? Did you see this too? Did you see this? As opposed to 15 years later, 10 years later, 7 years later. Hey, what happened? What? What happened 7 years later on the night that I don't even really know what? Hey, come on, man. Like, how would I remember that? How would any witness be able to corroborate this story? You know what I'm saying? Not to mention she don't want to reveal her identity, which could furthermore speak to what her character is. Is she a liar? Do she lie all the time about this type of stuff? Like, you know what I'm saying? But let's move on to what O'Shea Duke Jackson had to say about this.
Now, right? Let's go back to New York State. New York State issued a law making it possible for people to claim that they were a victim of sex assault at any time by anyone. Since passing the law, thousands of lawsuits have been filed by many Jane Does asking for millions of dollars from famous men. Now, here's what I want to talk about for this lady. You heard what Faison Love said. Most women are not going to the police. They're going to their own civil attorney to file lawsuits. Why are they not going to the police? Because the police are going to do what? Investigate. And what we're going to find at the time of those things is they're going to say, hey, can you take this certain kid? Women, if it was really an issue, would go to the police, okay? It could go to the police. but they don't go to the police. Whenever you ask them, why are you not going to the police? And we're not saying that these guys are perfect. We all know that entertainers have issues with women. Cuba Gooding, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. We know that they have issues. But the question is, why didn't you file criminal charges up until then? Because you said you went and sought medical attention. But when you sought medical attention, where are the receipts of the medical bills? Can we see them? Or can we can blur your name out? Can you see the hospital? No. Because really, if that happened at the time, you were not thinking about going to the police because it was never about the police. It was about getting some money.
And as you can see, O'Shea Duke Jackson agrees. Like, it seems that in a lot of these cases that are popping up, you got Axl Rose, you got all these different people that are popping up. You got Diddy. 3 more women that came out from the 90s, from 1990. Think about it. It's 2023 right now. You understand what I'm saying? That's 33 years ago that people are coming out of the woodwork saying this, that, and the other happened. How are you supposed to be able to fight that in court? How are you supposed to get witnesses to help defend your name if you didn't do anything wrong? If you did, now listen, I'm not trying to get down on y'all women, right? Because we do know this is a thing. This happens often. Men get on drugs, they get on liquor, they get the line, they get to doing too much, grabbing and groping. Like, we know this is a thing. And we are here to try to protect y'all. But what I'm asking women is, who is going to try to protect us? We can't ask the question of, were these mutual touching? Like, were they touching on each other? Right? Did she want to be touched by Jamie Foxx? Did Jamie Foxx want to be touched by her? We see how many groupies follow people all around the country and put themselves strategically in arm's reach of these celebrities so they can have sex and do all these things. Men too. Men we love Janet Jackson and Beyonce and wish we could get close enough to get rubbed and touched on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, just because chicks come out 10, 15 years later and say, oh, it's assault, we can't discuss the possibility of, did you want this? Or was Jamie Foxx doing too much? Which is also a possibility there too. But I'm just asking, y'all want protection, but who's going to protect the men too? And if not us, because y'all don't have too much sympathy for us. But what when it comes to your sons, single mothers? Because you don't have no sympathy for all the men that you look around at, all the black men that y'all ain't this, y'all ain't that, right? But when it happens to your son, and you got these chicks just throwing salacious stuff at him until it stick, what happens then? Do you have any sympathy for your son? Or do you just believe the woman? In the sake of femininity and womanhood. Like, it don't matter. It makes me mad that men aren't able to stand ground and ask questions about this type of stuff without being vilified. Listen, people have track records of doing wild stuff. And I'm not saying it can't be true. But we have to also question these women. Why did you wait 30 years later to come out and say something happened to you, where no one can gather any type of proof to corroborate or to say if it's factual or not? And then, just because of the sake of this person's that's being accused of their business stature, they automatically just have to pay just to settle it and just keep it moving. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not like you prove that they were guilty or they weren't guilty, but come on now, like just as we talked about with the Diddy and Cassie thing, I believe Diddy did some of this stuff. I don't think Diddy is squeaky clean, but we also have to question Cassie in that situation and say, why so long? They were together 10 years. Why would you, when they got together, she had a boyfriend. Diddy just was like, whatever, I'm kissing on you, mine now. And she went with that. She separated from her boyfriend, and I get it was an awkward relationship with the Diddy being your boss and he signed you and this, that, and the other. But just like we said with MC Shan was offered the role of Fresh Prince first, and was alleged that Benny Medina was trying to hit him with some funny business, and he stood on. He like, well, what? Like, listen, I see you on some funny booty stuff. It's not going down. If that's what you're trying to tell me that's coming with that role, I don't want it. It's not going down. Find somebody else. And that's what I think that women can do. But in some cases, women choose to go along for the ride, the luxurious ride, rub elbows with all the celebrities, have a great time on yachts doing this, that, and the other, and they will bend their morals and do things they don't want to do in exchange for that. But then wait 30 years later or 10, 15 years later and then say, oh, I was being taken advantage of. And I was, and that's where we have to question some of this stuff. And they're talking about extending this law. They're talking about making this law, extending it even longer. So more women can just come out of nowhere and just raise their hand and jump in on it. You're making this way too easy for women who are fraudulent to attack men and get some money. And I just don't think that is fair. If we're going to be fair, we should be fairly trying to weed out which women have been abused and get justice for them, be it criminal or money. And we should be able to try to weed them out from the women who are lying. And for the women that are lying, they should be looking at the same punishment that they're trying to delve out to these men. You understand what I'm saying? This is your boy P. Camp. Let me know what you think, what you don't think. Get at your boy.